Hi everybody, it's Alison. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be smashing one of my biggest bugbears, which is niche. And if you think niche is so important to either start a business or grow a business, then you really do want to watch this. Coming right up. Okay, so if you don't know what a niche is, or a niche, as some people call it, depending on which country you come from, then let me explain. Basically, a niche is a segment within an industry, for example, or it can even be a certain type of profession. Think of a niche like a demographic. In marketing terms, for example, if you are going to be working with teachers, you might want to go into the education niche. However, what has happened over the last 3 or 4 years where social media and digital marketing are concerned is that so many marketers are banging on about niche, and there are two things that they aren't really telling you. The first one is that they're telling you to niche down. Find your niche, find your niche, find your niche, grow an audience, sell them a product. We've heard this so many times before. And by the way, I have been in business and marketing for over 10 years. I own businesses, I own brands that I have built myself, and I also help other business owners grow their businesses and brands, and I even coach people on how to do these things too. So I'm not telling you this because it's something I've read in a book and I'm trying to sell you a fancy course. I'm telling you this because I actually do this every single day in my business and in other businesses. So the first thing is, you don't need to niche down, especially today. And in a minute, I'm going to show you a couple of slides to kind of just break things down a little bit and help you some more. Now, I'm going to give you a typical example of what typical people or some marketers are telling people what to do. Oh, if you want to teach adults English, go on to LinkedIn, because that's the only platform really for adult professionals. However, this particular piece of content that I saw somewhere was actually not on LinkedIn, it was on Facebook. So this begs the question, and certainly does kind of contradict the testament of that marketer, that if LinkedIn is so great and it's full of professionals, why is this person on Facebook marketing this fact? I'm going to tell you why. Because Facebook is one of the biggest platforms. It has millions of people using the platform every single day. Therefore, in order to break through the fluff, your content marketing and your positioning does need to be specific, but that doesn't mean that you need to niche down so far into a specific niche to make those two things connect. Let me explain a bit more. Okay, I'm going to keep this really simple, and then I'm going to go into some more fancy slides, so stay with it. Let's just say this is you, okay, my trusty little whiteboard. Let's just say this is you, and this is your ideal client. And let's just say that you are a teacher, for example. I'm going to put teacher up there. And you want to go freelance, and you even maybe want to think about starting your own online language school, okay? So what are you going to do? You're going to think about who your ideal client is. Now, this is where marketers go wrong. And I can say this because I actually have an online language school, and I have an organic growth rate of over 1,000 new followers every single day, who then come into my online language programs. And I have done this 100% on Facebook. So even though Facebook is meant to be saturated and the e-learning industry is meant to be saturated, I've actually been quite okay with this, and I actually coach other teachers to do the same thing, and they are also having great results. So let's get back to this. So this is you, this is your client, you're the teacher. Now marketers will say you need to niche down. You need to niche down here on the client area, but this is the mistake. You are the niche, you as a teacher, and your niche is in education. That is already a niche in itself, okay? Excuse the bad writing. Now, if you're working online as an online teacher, then you are in the digital tech niche, okay? So you are, I'm going to switch this round. You're in the digital tech niche. You're also in the digital education niche, okay? Digital education niche. And I'm going to run out of place here, so I'm going to switch onto my whiteboard in a minute. And you're also in the online digital marketing and social media niche, because you're going to be using those in order to grow your business, because your business is online. So you're already in one niche. And actually, let's add to this. This is also self-employment. So that is another niche in itself, okay? So you are the teacher, you are self-employed, you're in the education niche, you're in the digital tech niche, you're in the digital education niche, and in the digital marketing niche. So you're already in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and also self-employment entrepreneur, 6 different niches. Now I'm going to show you how you need to pivot this and profit from it, instead of trying to bombard clients with niche selling tactics, because clients don't give a damn about niche selling tactics. All they care about is results. And I'm going to show you how I get some of mine. So now let's switch over to my fancy. Okay, so put myself here. If you niche down, the biggest thing you're going to do, before I go into a little bit more of an explanation, is you're going to lock yourself into ultimate failure. And there are a number of reasons for this, but I'm just going to go with the main ones, okay? Now, the first one is because if you niche down too much, you are doing the fundamental opposite of what social and digital marketing is today. And let's face it, whether you like it or you hate it, social and digital marketing is what is growing businesses today. It isn't cold calling. It isn't pamphlets and brochures. It's none of that. It's digital and social media marketing. And it's one of the quickest ways to grow your business as well today, for a very, very small amount of investment, namely your time. So if you're ignoring both digital and social trends, you're ignoring one of the biggest things. And this is this. You can see here on the right hand side, you see someone holding their phone. Everyone is connected to life today with their phone, okay? And the reason why this is so important is because every single community pretty much is interacting on social media, whether that be businesses, whether that be jobs, whether that be learning, whether that be going out to eat, whether that be buying stuff, products, services. It's all done so much more on social media today. But if you ignore this, you're ignoring the evolution of our society today. We live in the digital era, whether you like it or not. Social media is not going to go away, I don't think, pretty much. It's just going to keep on growing. So the best thing you can do to profit from that yourself, if you're intending to grow your business, is to do this. Put yourself right in the middle of your market positioning. Okay, it's not about niching down into your client, it's you. You are your own niche. In a sense, you're almost your own influencer. And this is what makes marketing unique. The reason why I have such a huge following that grows so much with my online language school is because I am the brand. I am the brand. I make it unique. The way I communicate to the followers, the way I interact with them, everything I do makes it unique. And that is why they like it, because I've made it kind of all about me in a sense, because I wanted to have a different spin on online education. I was bored and fed up after teaching for a number of years, seeing what everybody else was doing. And marketers, lots of marketers, make the same mistake. They sell in the same way as everybody else. Oh, you've got a niche down. Oh, I know your niche. And people that are buying stuff, they know this. Think when someone's trying to sell you something. I'm the worst. I'm terrible. When someone is trying to sell me something, my kids hate it because I know every pitch, because over the years I've used every pitch. And I'm like, just what is it? How much? Forget the sales pitch. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it does. Let's go. I'm terrible. But people that are adult professionals. My business teaches all sorts of people, but I have doctors, I have lawyers, I even have a prince that I teach. They're shrewd people. That's how they've become to be the people that they are in their profession. Let's face it, doctors are very analytical. Lawyers are very analytical. Even your stay-at-home mums and dads are very analytical people. They break down information. So you need to step out of the frame and put the typical frame and put your own injection into it. You need to put your own influence, your own style, and your own taste into it. Okay, let me move on. Okay, I have explained here that you are your own niche. Okay, that really is the concept of niche marketing today. And the way social media is changing massively and very, very fast is really indicative of this. Think about platforms like TikTok. Think how they have taken the world by storm. What's happened? Now we have Reels on Instagram. Reels is competing with TikTok. Facebook is competing with YouTube with all of their watch videos and their live videos. All of these platforms are bringing out different monetization policies and processes and all sorts of amazing things for creators and businesses, because they want them to create unique content. Okay, so it's so important that you understand that. So you are your own niche. And within social media marketing, when you're thinking about being or growing yourself within your own niche, I always try to think of three main things. One is educating. Whatever I do, I'm a teacher by nature. So I just love teaching and I love learning. I'm an addict of learning. I'd rather sit down and learn something by watching a video or reading a book for 2 hours than I probably would do going out to eat. I'd probably just get takeaway, eat and learn. That's just me. So always educate. People like to be fed information. People love it. That's one of the good things with social media. But you know, they like to be entertained whilst it's happening. So that's why we've got TikTok. How many people have learned something on TikTok? All sorts of things you can learn on TikTok, from learning a language to cooking to fitness to makeup tutorials to even saving money or starting your own business. Everything is on TikTok. The same with Reels. So people like to see lots of different innovative ways of communicating. They don't want everything three-dimensional. They don't want to be sat down in a webinar or sat down in a cold sell. You know, you have to move with the times, and social media is always changing. And obviously, digital marketing is the next biggest element of growing your online business with a niche, if you're going to use a niche in this sense of business growth. So by that I mean use your social media platforms to grow your business, to create some traction, to inform people of what you're doing, educate them, entertain them, engage them, and then have call to actions, have things that they want, build your audience, and then give them what they want. I ask my audience, I ask my followers, what would you like to learn next? With the people I coach, I say, what do you need to know? Tell me what you're struggling with. What can I help you with? Ask people. So many times people spend ages, they go and buy a course or a program, they spend ages curating all this stuff, even products or services, without doing any market research, without even opening a business page, without doing any Facebook lives or reels or even a TikTok, dare I say, because they're scared of the online world. Meanwhile, they're interacting with it all the time, like everybody else is with their phone. So you need to get real about where we are, the here and the now. And the biggest part really of the niche is brand. Social media platforms in particular love brand, whether it be a personal brand or a business brand. And if you actually go over to my TikTok, I have done a very small little 60 seconds into the difference of those, because I've worked with personal brands and I've also worked with non-personal brands, business brands. And well, a personal brand is a business brand in a sense, but you know, a personal brand as in the person is the brand, and a brand, whereas an you know, a logo representing a range of goods, products or services. That's the difference, what I mean. Brand is really important. And one of the reasons why it's important and why social media platforms in particular favor brands is because of the brand collabs that come, and the advertisement and the sponsorships. All social media platforms are primarily massive advertising machines. They are machines. Their purpose is to make money from advertising. So if you present yourself and your business as a brand, you are more likely to have more success. And on top of that, you are going to position yourself in the ideal way to attract your ideal customer. Now, I think in my whole lifetime so far, I think I've spent about £150 tops on this brand and advertising. That's it. The rest has been organic growth because of my content marketing, and I do actually teach that. And if you're interested, I do have a link down below. And no, it's not something that's going to be £5,079 course. I think it's a 52 video course, lessons, and you can actually even go on my Facebook page and go over and buy it directly through my Facebook shop if you want to, or even go to my website. So I'm just going to give you an example of why some of my why I'm successful with my businesses. I'm going to just relate it to myself first of all, because I think sometimes when I say to someone, you are the niche, you are the brand, people are like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. And there's lots of reasons why they think they can't do it. One, they can't get their head around it because it's just a new mindset they have to adopt. The second one is they have no confidence, because they think doing a FaceTime call is so different to actually doing a live face-to-face video with your business, and there's not really much difference in the two. And the third one is they just feel so insecure and not very confident. And these are kind of some of the things that stop people, especially people who want to progress into creating and building a business online. These are some of the things that I know go through their head, because I ask people when they actually get in contact with me and go, yes, can you help me? I want to do this, I want to do that. I go, absolutely, sure, if they're the right fit for me, and vice versa. And I always ask them, can I ask why did you choose me? Why have you chosen me out of everybody? And every single time they say to me, because your content has resonated with me. And I always say, which platform, what was it? I always want to know more because that's part of my market research. But I think this element of being real, of being like a real, because we are real people, but keeping it really real when you're marketing through your business is so, so relevant. Whether you're a freelancer, a single teacher, whether you're a language school with 50 teachers, or whether you're a massive business or a sportswear brand, someone like Nike, for example, there has to be this element of reality. And so many marketers, they kind of go down this superstar to comma club award syndrome, that they want to see themselves on a major stage talking about how much money they've made, and they forget about the real essence of being of business growth, and that is your client, your customer, and you, and the relationship between those two things and the product and services that are kind of within those. That's it. That is all it is. And so many people overcomplicate it. So I'm going to just share what I have been told works for me, and some things that don't actually, because then it might help you reflect on yourself and positioning yourself within your own niche, which is you. So the first one is obviously I'm a female, I'm a woman. I have been in business meetings where I have been the only woman, in a 30-manned business meeting, and I can tell you, I have had to, over the years, battle my ground, where I've had to tell like sales managers that they can't spend X amount, this is their budget, and blah blah blah. And you have to develop a lot of coping capabilities and development strategies in these different areas. So obviously my goal is to get people to do what they need to do in order to hit the objectives that I have been given in the past, and you have to have character to do that. Some people hate it, some people like it, but if you're a business owner, you have to be definite about yourself and definite about who you are. Okay, that's very, very important. So the other thing is, I'm a single mum. I'm actually a divorced widow now, because I was a single mum for years, but the father of my children has actually passed away now. That also gave me incredible strength, because I had to learn a lot of things very, very hard, the hard way, with no help, with no finance, with no backing. Because as sad as it is today, single parents are still pretty much marginalized by society, I think. And I'm saying that speaking from personal experience. However, what it did do, being in that unfortunate situation, was land me a brilliant position, and I was a resident blogger for one of J.K. Rowling's organizations, which is Gingerbread. She's actually was, at the time when I was working there, the chairperson of that charity. She chaired that charity. And obviously that was writing, that was copywriting, that was all that sort of stuff. So that gave me lots of ability to find my voice, experience with different platforms, with copywriting, with all these different things. Because even when you're writing a blog post, no one's going to read it if the title's rubbish. So you have to have element of copywriting, and all these different skills are really necessary when you are selling your products or services, from, like I said, whether you're just one person or a massive business, because you have to, within a few words, within that first half a sentence even, have to have said something to make someone want to interact with you more and look at your post and hopefully engage with you. So obviously I'm a business owner. Now, some people might hate that I'm a female. Some people might hate that I was a single mum, we're like not meant to talk about these things, are we? But I am, that's what I am. I consider myself to be, I've put failure here, or failure, because some people would consider this failing. I left school with no GCSEs whatsoever. Unfortunately, my parents were going through a horrendous divorce, and these things affect you when you're a kid. I failed every single GCSE. However, speed forward 10 years later, I worked 2 jobs whilst I was a single parent. I got a degree. I got 2 degrees actually, whilst working. And I considered all of those things, whilst bringing up my kids alone too, to be massive in being time efficient, in being able to be very, very disciplined to reach my goals. And these things have, I think, really helped me create the backbone that I have needed for business. Very, 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 very much so. If you get everything handed to you on a plate and you've never had to strive to make a difference or strive to make things work, it's kind of, it begs the question as how are you going to deal with things in a challenging situation? Business can be challenging. So I've put there that I have been a late learner, maybe an early failure. I don't consider it failing. I suppose obviously opening that GCSE envelope and realising that you'd failed all your GCSEs is kind of a bit of a failure in some senses, but it made me an excellent learner, and I hope a better teacher for some. So I learned a lot from the University of Life within these kind of 10, 15 years that digressed afterwards. And that multiplied my understanding of people and business, because business is all about people. You can't have a business that works well if you don't understand people. Okay, you're either going to have recruitment problems, or you're going to have growth problems, or you're just not going to be able to do the biggest thing that most people want to do right now on social media, which is engagement. If you don't know how to connect with people, you're not going to be able to get them to engage, whether that be through your videos, your speech, your visuals. It's all about your mindset and how you think. So all of these things are really, really, really relevant. So obviously, yes, I have blogged. It says there J.K. Rowling, but I want to be very clear here. I blogged for an organisation that she chaired. Okay, so that's very specific there. Later on, I became an award-winning author. I created some bilingual books, a bilingual book range for children. Again, these are saturated industries, and I became an Amazon bestseller, all done through my own marketing alone. I've got teacherpreneur there, although that is spelt wrong. Let's correct that. Teacherpreneur. I teach people basically how to grow their businesses online. So I consider that teaching people to become a little bit more of an online entrepreneur. So I kind of stuck the two together, fused the word, and came up with teacherpreneur. It worked for me. And I love learning. I'm always learning something, and I love teaching. I love passing on the information that I learn if I think it can help someone, especially if it's helped me. So for example, one of my businesses, like I said, is an online language school. I've literally blueprinted it and modeled the entire business, from the emails I send out to the templates I use for the funnel, to even how I set up my business page, how I create my posts, I design all of those things. I've actually blueprinted all of that, recorded every single thing I do, and actually train people how to do the same. So the message here is not to be greedy and not to be scared of imposter syndrome. How I teach, how my clients connect with me is not going to be the same as you or someone else, even if you're selling the same product or service. And that is that thing, that niche that makes the difference. I always think about keeping things real. So money is always a thing for people, keeping things real, stop ripping people off, do things for the right reason. And I consider in my own way that I have disrupted saturated industries single-handedly. I single-handedly teach 33,000 people every single week through my different platforms. And that grows. That's quite amazing, because I'm talking about everything, the A to the Z. I have a little bit of help now with some of the video editing, because I'm like a content machine. I chuck out that much that I need to give some of it to someone just to cut down and do all the stuff. But I have done that and did do all that part of it for years, actually quite enjoy it, but I just don't have the time to do everything. So I outsource now things I don't have the time to do. And I've built brands and businesses within these industries. I'm going to give you an example. When I landed my second language school, the adult language school, I'd already had a modern foreign language one going for about 7 years with young children. And I just wanted to work with adults for a bit, because I've worked with children for years and my kids are teenagers now. So I just wanted to do something a little bit different. So, and I was a bit bored with what I was seeing, like I said, with the way people were presenting classes, the way we were told to teach, and it just was not resonating with me. I'd also have learnt languages myself, and I know how things work best for me. And I kind of took what I had, which was at the time my phone, and that's how I started my most recent brand, which is now monetized by Facebook. All I had was my phone, my idea, my mindset, and most of all, my discipline and determination. Because I would get up every single day at 6 o'clock, record or do my lives on my phone, edit it, and then start my page rolling. And that is how I grew my business. And once platforms today realize why you're creating what you're creating, they just go all out to help you. The amount of tools that Facebook have for free for business owners is absolutely staggering right now. I mean, for me, I think Facebook is the #1 place to build a brand. If you want to build a brand or a business online today in 2021, it has to be Facebook. You have Facebook shops, you have Facebook seminars, you have Facebook paid events, you have Facebook breakout rooms. The only thing that's missing from Facebook is probably a virtual learning studio like Zoom, something like that. There are so many different things that we have within Facebook to kind of help you start your business and grow. And I'm going to tell you why this is so important. I have a website, of course I do. I have a number of funnels and a number of lead pages going to my website. But when you get to the point of being not local and you're international, people want to know, like, and trust you before they part with their hard-earned cash. It's logical. I'm in the UK. Would I prefer to go onto a website in India? No offense to anyone Indian, I'm just using this as an example. Or would I prefer to buy through a partner like Facebook? What's it going to be? It's going to be Facebook, because I know Facebook. And Facebook, we all know, are very tight with their policies. And this is why it helps you to build that like, know, and trust factor. By comparison, if I go on LinkedIn, I can go on LinkedIn for half an hour, and within an hour, my email box, or my messaging box on LinkedIn, is filled up with about 50 different messages, all from different service providers, spamming the heck out of my messenger box, trying to sell me something. This is really annoying, and I think it's very unprofessional. Facebook don't allow that. I mean, if you're caught doing that on Facebook, you kind of get your knuckles tapped, you're getting put in Facebook jail. It's something that they really do their best to disencourage. LinkedIn CEO would do well to kind of do that. So if you're thinking of building your business by going on to platforms like LinkedIn and hitting up people because you think they're in what someone told you is a high ticket niche, I would really think again about that business approach. And most of all, I would think about where you're going to find yourself in 2 years, 1 year, or even 5 years along the lines with the business, if that is the approach that you're going to be using. Anyway, I hope all of that was useful info for you. And as always, if you want to learn a little bit more about things I do, things I've got going, I'm always changing, bringing things out, trying to do what I can do to give back to the world, and also learn stuff myself, then go along to my website, which is down below, alisonmcrobbie.com, and yeah, hopefully jump on my email list, because I have all sorts of things going on my email list as well, which could potentially be very, very interesting for you if you want some training, or if you just want to learn about new different concepts. Every time I send something out new, I'll let you know about it. And